The challenge with some of the contractors is the first 30% or 40% they are giving to even start the project. That is what they have to pay to the people in the government or in those offices. Parastatals first as kickback, because those ones would tell you authoritatively. I had an uncle, they told, or a friend, wait, they will tell you that, look, I might have left office Swift by the time you are ending the contract. And so the possibility of me getting my kickback is very rare. So once the first installment is coming, you are sorting the uncles.
Hello, Swift.
Then you now use your own private money Swift to carry out. So it's more difficult.
Swift. This is Souq business landscape. Now, indigenous contractors have resumed protests. Now, Abuja protests over 4 trillion unpaid project. Indigenous contractors yesterday resumed protests in Abuja over alleged 4 trillion debt owed by the federal government for completed 2024 capital projects. Now, this particular fresh demonstration follows weeks of agitation by affected firms demanding payment for contracts they say were fully executed and duly certified. The news agency of Nigeria reported that the protest echoes a similar action staged in December 2025, when contractors accused the government of failing to honor payment commitments despite repeated engagement with relevant ministries, departments, and agencies. Protesters said prolonged delays have pushed many firms into financial distress. Contractors warned that continued non-payment threatens jobs, project delivery timelines, and confidence in government procurement processes. They argue that local firms already strained by high interest rates and rising input costs face collapse if the liabilities remain unsettled. The development adds pressure on the federal government to address funding gaps in capital expenditure and restore credibility with indigenous contractors executing public projects nationwide. We really wished this was gone with 2025. But here we are, and here we are. Now, for a lot of the budgeting that has been done, do you see some of this payment in the budget of 2026?
Excuse me. Remember, I think last year there was a report that for now, let's stop any ongoing projects, and the ones that are still...
Those are capital projects for 2025.
Yes.
But these payments are payments for 2024.
For 2024. Which means someone is sitting on that money.
Someone has already taken
Which means we are not doing our audits. Because if we are, these agencies are being audited, these ministries are being audited, it would be found out. Except someone has forged his signature on a paper to say these people have been paid. But it's good that
you are looking away. Why are you looking away?
It's good they are coming out to say this, because I remember Governor Seyi Makinde, when he first got into office, he talked about some of the things that these contractors go through, according to him. He said before you get a contract, 50% of that contract goes back to the state governor, 15%.
Hold on.
That was what he stated.
That was what he stated.
Yes.
Hold on.
Okay, so let me round it. Let me sum it up. Okay. What he was just trying to say is some of the contractors...
Who was trying to say?
Seyi Makinde,
the governor.
That these contractors grease palms.
Okay.
First of all, to get contracts. The contracts are then inflated.
Okay.
When they are inflated, now you inflate the amount. Is it not okay that you should give the contractor? Because you are going to make, because what you will inflate will be double of what the contractor has stated. So you've already made your gain. But they still go ahead and not give the contractor. To some, in defense, they say, okay, we can't give them all the money because we live in a country whereby even the artisans, if you give them the full payment, they will disappear for 2 weeks and you will be calling them, begging them to come and, start the job or finish the job. So they give them maybe 30% and say, okay, fine. I mean, you're a contractor. You bidded for this particular contract, which means you should have capital already to execute this contract. So maybe 30% is being given. Go and execute it. And once you are done, we do an inspection and we pay you the money. It's like a gentleman's agreement. In good faith, these contractors do it because, it's the federal government, it's the state government. They would pay. It's not a private business who might run away someday. It's the government. Where are they going? They're not going to run away. It's the best people to do business with. And they go ahead and do this. So, and most of these contractors get loans from banks. that. The money is tied everywhere.
Yes.
They hire other people, they subcontract these things to other people. And at the end of the day, I mean, we live in a country whereby even in the private sector, you do a job for someone and he's telling you, oh, I'm sorry, the people who are supposed to pay me, they've not paid me, so you hold on. And you're wondering, like, I did the job for you. It's not my business whether you get paid for it. But you are telling me that if you don't get paid, I will not get paid. So it trickles down.
Okay.
So that is why they are coming out now to say that, look, pay us our money. And it's really the fact, pay them their money. If accounts are being audited, if a particular project did not complete, you should come back and say, okay, this project, and if it's a case of, we gave this contractor a contract to build gutters and he built rubbish, so therefore he has to go back and start the project again, complete it, then we'll pay him. Then we all know that, okay, yes, it's the contractor. We know that, okay, the money is still there. It's in the account. And if the project was not completed, if the contractor was not paid, let it go back to where it came from.
Okay, let it go back to where it came from. If they've been assessed that the project was poorly done.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, you are even being modest. I want to say, wait now, hold on. No. There's something very important I want to drop.
Okay.
The challenge with some of the contractors is the first 30% or 40% they are giving to even start the project. That is what they have to pay to the people in the government or in those offices. Parastatus first as kickback, because those ones would tell you authoritatively. I had an uncle, they told, or a friend, they will tell you that, look, I might have left office
Swift
by the time you are ending the contract. And so the possibility of me getting my kickback is very rare. So once the first installment is coming, you are sorting the uncles.
Hello, Swift.
Then you now use your own private money
Swift.
to carry out. So it's more difficult.
Swift.
Yes.
Now, hold on. Now, we say these things as if it's a norm, as if it's written in the Constitution that once you are taking a contract to pay kickback in Nigeria.
It's a gentleman's agreement.
No, hold on, please. I don't know if
we've seen international firms sue former governors for taking kickback. We've seen a former person putting some money.
Swift.
And that's pocket.
Swift. What is not normal is not normal.
Okay.
So let's not normalize it with our communication. I don't know if I'm making sense. Okay, now let's go this way. Why do we see the issue of government, be it state, be it local government, be it federal government, issuing contracts when there is no fund to fund those particular projects? We see it happen over and over again. Why are we seeing ministries raise papers and issue a contract when they know within themselves that the money to fund this contract is not there?
And is the money to fund the contract not there? Or sometimes, sometimes the monies are there. But before the end of the contract coming, something else comes up that they claim they quickly had to channel money into, which we see all the time. So, for example, there's money to fund a certain road, and then doctors go on strike. And they tell you that the money that was supposed to be used to balance, instead of letting it sit in the account, we decide to divert it.
Are you talking as someone that has been in the ministry or someone that have diverted?
We see that from newspaper reports. We see that from updates. And so it still boils down to the fact of accountability gaps, which Olumide was saying. We need to have a very transparent system. When the Tinubu administration came online, they talked about the fact that they wanted to have an online system where you can see how contracts are given is transparent, when they are paid the 30%, when they are paid the 40%, even up to the accounts that are being paid to and all that. But somehow, the human factor, the Nigerian factor,
there is nothing called
yes, no, that's the truth. My friend that went to Harvard Business School said in Harvard class, there is the Nigerian factor corruption as a course taught. How when you are coming into Nigeria to do a conference, hold on. If it's been taught in Harvard Business School, it means that a lot of international bodies who have come to work with us have complained. Every administration has tried to curb it, which is good. As of, I think, day before yesterday, the Kogi State Polytechnic professor was talking about the fact that, look, corruption in Nigeria, there should now be a death warrant on it. How many House of Reps members are ready to pass that law? Even Nigerians on the street will say, it's too much. But that's the same death warrant that is in China. And that is why corruption is highly reduced. And so let's face what the facts and figures are. The monies are there initially. The government has a good plan. They calm down. Look at our players. Until they riot and go on social media, their allowances are not paid. How many other African countries did you see say they were not being paid? When they were talking, the Cameroonian team cracked a joke and they said our allowances were paid before we even got on the plane. But yet we see it time and time. World Cup qualifiers, we saw the same thing. AFCON, we saw the same thing. Who is keeping these monies? Why are they keeping these monies? What are you holding on to the monies for before you pay the people so that you put it in an account and it yields a two weeks interest or a 10 days interest? That's the level playing field. So it's not just allocating. What has government done to be able to curb corruption in Nigeria? Because all this is boiling down to corruption.